right. So, former President Donald Trump has said that with the U.S. defense official that said that there was three other balloons, Chinese spy balloons, that were flown over the United States during former President Donald Trump's presidency. Former President Donald Trump said that he wasn't made aware of these. So now we're starting to get a lot of problems that we're starting to be made aware of, and we're starting to see a lot of inconsistencies at different levels here. Let me know your thoughts on this. So the question is, where is the problem? Yeah. Here's what Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has to say. Yeah, she calls for a probe into why Trump was unaware of the previous Chinese balloons, saying on her Twitter, quote, if it's true the Pentagon purposely did not tell President Trump of Chinese spy balloons when he was president during his administration, then we had a serious breach in command during the Trump administration. The POTUS, President of the United States, is the commander in chief. We must investigate and hold accountable those who broke rank. Over 1.5 million people have seen this tweet already. And it does kind of beg the question, why wasn't the president at the time, former President Donald Trump, told about these Chinese spy balloons at different periods, three different Chinese spy balloons that a US defense official says did happen during his presidency? Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Now, the other question here is, were they non incidences that they didn't think the president needed to be reported on? Or were they maybe in presidential notes? I assume that the president gets a briefing every day, probably like a sheet of paper. Maybe they were in there and the president didn't notice it. Um, we'll have to see here as we get more information. Maybe, they're just kind of listed in there with, 100 other things for the day. A weather balloon was spotted, and maybe he didn't think anything of it. What do you think? Well, now that we have this, big Chinese balloon here spotted and now shot down, um, past incidences are being brought up. And then we also have a U.S. Air Force general saying that the U.S. failed to detect past Chinese spy balloons. This is literally from a U.S. Air Force general saying a senior U.S. general responsible for bringing down the Chinese spy balloon said on Monday that the military had not detected previous spy balloons before the one that appeared on January 28th over the United States and called it a quote, awareness gap. The Pentagon said over the weekend that the Chinese spy balloons that had briefly flown over the United States at least three times during President Donald Trump's administration and one time previously under President Joe Biden. But Air Force General Glenn Van Herk, head of the U.S. North American Aerospace Defense Command and Northern Command, said the latest balloon was 200 feet or 60 meters tall, and the payload under it weighed a couple thousand pounds. He did not provide details on previous balloons, including where over the United States they flew, saying, quote, I will tell you that we did not detect those threats, and that's a domain awareness gap. So, first of all, this is a bit confusing because, on one hand, they're saying that they did detect three previous balloons underneath former President Donald Trump's administration and one before under Biden's administration before this one. And then on the other hand, they're saying that they didn't detect previous threats. Yeah, you guys can try to decipher that here. But I think that they're trying to say that they need to start monitoring for these type of balloons more often, or put more sophisticated, high altitude systems up there. This is higher than aircraft and fighter jets and any other type of airplanes fly. So there is that. But we'll see. We're obviously going to get a lot more information here over the course of the next coming weeks. But speaking of Marjorie Taylor Greene and Congress, we've been getting a lot of comments here about this here lately, but you won't believe what she said here recently. Take a listen, or let me show you the headline here first. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's, this is now her second term in Congress. She's a Republican representative. She complained about her low salary and said that working in Congress made her miserable. Yeah, low salary. Take a listen to what she said here. Let me know your thoughts on this.
The nature of this job. It keeps members of Congress and senators in Washington so much of the time, too much of the time, to be honest with you, that we don't get to go home and spend more time with our families, our friends, all in our district, or maybe just be regular people, because this job is so demanding. It's turned into practically year-round. And for those of us in the House of Representatives, we have to run for Congress every 2 years. So you're practically campaigning nearly the entire time that you're here serving as a representative. So that's just a couple of examples that I can give you that I believe is a recipe for disaster. And that's how people just fall into this social club. I would call it a social club here in Washington, D.C. Now, for me, I have no interest in that. I really don't. And I'll tell you why. Becoming a member of Congress has made my life miserable. I made a lot more money before I got here. I've lost money since I've gotten here. I have people come up to me and say crazy things to me out of the blue in public places that they believe because they read it on the internet or saw it on some news show about me. So it's not a life that I think is like something that I enjoy because I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, so Marjorie Taylor says, quote, becoming a member of Congress has made my life miserable. I've made a lot more money before I got here. I've lost money since I got here. It's not a life that I think is like something that I enjoy because I don't. You guys can let me know your thoughts here on this. Remember that members of Congress salary is $174,000. You can see here that actually has not been raised for many years, as you can see here, since 2009. When you hear about the raises in Congress, you can see it right here on there. Remember, I'm all about truth here. They actually raised the amount that congressional aides can get, can get. Not necessarily that they will get for sure, but that's salary raises that aides can get, not congressmen and not senators. Yeah, so I'll show you the headline here. Yeah, you can see here Nancy Pelosi announces maximum salary for House staff being raised to $212,000. So believe it or not, House staffers can earn more than congressmen and congresswomen working there. For senior staff members can sometimes earn more than some of the junior House of Representatives or senators, believe it or not. Yeah, so you guys can let me know your thoughts there in the comment section. Yeah, so what do you think about congressmen and congresswomen, or at least Marjorie Taylor Greene, complaining about their salary of $174,000? The problem with it is that people like Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell, they come out of there being worth $100 million after their salaries. Remember, they make a little bit more being Speaker of the House and Minority Leader and Majority Leader in the Senate. The problem is that even salaries of almost $200,000 a year, 5 years is $1 million. They come out of there being worth almost $100 million after decades in Congress, and that's because of who knows what else they're doing, insider trading or whatnot. But that's kind of the problem with these people that serve lifetimes in Congress. But let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here. Make sure to subscribe down below for your daily dose of truth. I'll keep you up to date here on a daily basis. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, thanks so much for liking and sharing these videos, because I just tell you the truth here on YouTube. Here's some videos you can watch next. Here is new information about the new bill of $2,400 raises for Social Security. You can click that video here, or you can click here to watch my newest video next. So click on one of those videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.